Hey everyone, how's it going? It's Jewel and Arit here.
Hello.
And welcome to the Essetino Weekly Mastermind, episode number 80.
Yes, welcome everybody. It's Thursday, another weekly mastermind here, and we have a special episode for you because we're actually bringing on a special guest of ours onto the live stream a little bit later on. But for those of you who don't know and you're new here, welcome. My name is Orit and this is Jewel, and we are founders of Essetino Media, where we help you create profitable content. So we host these live streams every single week, every single Thursday, to be a resource for you and also to network with a lot of really cool, like-minded, creative entrepreneurs.
So as we say hello to everyone, share in the comments what was your win for the week. And I don't know if you guys noticed, but there's like a different angling happening right now and a different setup. We actually got all of our new laptops, and Arit got a really huge screen here, an extra monitor, and we got that all set up. And that takes a while to transfer everything from your old laptops to your new laptops, reinstalling the softwares, putting everything on hard disk drives. So I spent like a day or two doing that, and that's a major win. I didn't want to wait, I didn't want to postpone it. I wanted to get it done immediately. So as soon as we got all the new gear, we set that up really quickly.
Yeah, so since we have a new setup here, just let us know in the comments there if you can hear us okay, if everything's good. And yeah, we'll say hello to some people. And also, as we're doing that, please do share your wins in the comments.
So we've got Brenda in the house. Hey, Brenda.
Hi, Brenda.
How's it going?
How has your week been?
And Jojo.
Jojo, hello. Awesome. And we have Dawn, dance always. I was dancing just before we went live.
And we've got Noelle in the house. Hey, Noelle.
Hi, Noelle. How's it going? And Teddy
B is in the house. And the first win here from Noelle.
Yes. So Noelle says, my channel was reviewed by vidIQ. Very cool, Noelle. Yes, so vidIQ is one of the top tools for YouTube creators, and they do channel audits every so often on their channel, a pretty big channel. Mm-hmm. And yeah, Noelle was selected as one of the YouTube creators to get reviewed on there. And that's awesome. How did that even come about, Noelle? I didn't even ask you. Did you submit your channel? I wonder. Let us know. We'll share some of our wins with you guys. And then, like I said, we're going to be bringing on a special guest talking about becoming a nonfiction author. So for me personally, yes, in addition to this whole new setup, what I'm working on right now is writing a video script for a landing page. And this landing page is going to be used to sell more of our courses, specifically one course to do with YouTube. And you guys have heard us talking about relaunching our YouTube course, helping more YouTube creators make money from their channel. So this video is going to sit on that landing page, and I was writing the video script for it. I actually went to that. There was a write-in earlier this week on Monday, which Melody can talk more about later. Melody is our guest that we'll be bringing on soon. But yeah, this write-in, I took some time to write all of the script, the video script. It has to be done in a very specific way, right? To touch upon certain problem points of your audience and positioning your product as a solution. So got that video script done, also got some feedback, and I'm super excited to get that off my plate and filming it too next week. So I'm going to be filming that soon.
Cool. Quick win for me. I have started the sort of style of videos. We have this client that we're working with, and I'm going to be editing over 100 videos for this course. It's going to be this in-depth course. I can't really say what it is right now, but I was getting the stylings of it, which basically means like the positioning of the video, the colors, the fonts, the color palette, the style, like what kinds of things are going to be coming in, the energy of the video. Mm-hmm. And I was just kind of working on that first before I go and do it for, 100 plus videos. So that was a win for me.
Awesome. We have CF Moto Side Rider in the house. Hello.
Teddy B's win 675,000
Wow,
views
Teddy.
on the channel. Amazing.
Incredible. Congratulations.
And we've got Monica in the house. Hey, Monica. How's it
Monica.
going? And we've got Timothy, Don.
Hi, Timothy. And Don, hello.
And the other Don, Digging in Deep with Don, said, amazing life transforming meeting today with Jewel and Arit. That's awesome, Don. We're so happy to have met with you earlier today and, give you those tips on the stuff that you're working on, the new merch that you're working on.
Yes, awesome. And I see Noelle saying it was a random pick by vidIQ. The host Jade picked my channel since it was tax related and relevant to her. Very cool. The luck of the draw. Amazing.
All right.
Okay, guys, so we're going to bring on our special guest, Melody Owen. So she is, she's founder of Author Nation, and Author Nation is a supportive community and a valuable resource for anyone in the planning, producing, publishing, or promotion stages of writing a nonfiction book. And what started as a small local meetup in Vancouver has now flourished into this supportive, collaborative hub of authors helping authors. And Melody is constantly creating new videos, worksheets, resources, writing prompts for her members to really take that uncertainty and overwhelm out of writing a book. And we've had the pleasure of coaching Melody to start her YouTube channel, and we're so proud. Like over the past year, we've really had the pleasure of working with her, and I can tell you firsthand that she is such a great person to know, like always willing to help, and she's such a go-getter, a real hustler. So welcome.
Hi, thank you so much. That was lovely. Thank you for that introduction.
Absolutely, no problem.
Yeah, great to have you, Melody.
We talk about you to a lot of people, saying that you are a hustler, so let it be known. you move creative projects forward with such speed, and that's inspiring. So tell us about, how did you become an author yourself, and how did Author Nation start?
Oh, how did Author Nation start? Well, I've been teaching writing, most of my life, communication skills to a variety of people, business people. I've worked in Asia and South America and Canada. And I love teaching writing. I love working with people who are looking to express themselves and who have new ideas. I love change makers, people who have ideas that can change the world or even just change a few people in their community. And so it's just born of my absolute passion for people who have a message and a story that they want to share. And I think if you have a message to share, if you have a story to share, then let's get it out there. That's how I feel about it. That's how it started.
Is that something that you've always been passionate about, writing, like from an early age?
Oh, good question. I did like English class when I was growing up, but I didn't think that this is what I was going to do. I'm not even sure this was like a career when I was, in school they don't go, and you could be a YouTuber and you could be it's just not. You could run an author community. Would you like to do that? Like it was just never on the plate, right? So I've made it up. I just make it up as I go along, I must say.
It's crazy to think that, the stuff that we're doing online wasn't really around even 10 years ago, right? And even 5 years ago, it was still quite primitive.
Exactly. Yeah. And if you're an entrepreneur, you make it up. And that's how things like YouTube are born, right? Somebody made it up because they were an entrepreneur. And I love that. I love that about being an entrepreneur. And I love seeing other people kind of blossom in that same way.
Yeah. And I love that you said that everyone has a story within them. And that is like absolutely true. Everyone has they came from a different walk of life, different experiences, different lessons learned. So, what compels someone to write about their story?
Oh, so many reasons. I've actually had clients who've written their story and not shared it with anyone. because it was something they needed to go through. They needed to rewrite their story and put themselves in a different position. Because, sometimes you grow up and your family tells you you are, a nurse or a doctor, and that's what you should be. And you kind of buy into the story. And then some people, depending on what it is, they actually need to rewrite the story, shifting their position, making them the hero instead of the victim, for example. So I've actually had clients who write it and don't do anything with it. I've had clients who write it and share it with their family. This amazing client, she when she went to university, she could be a teacher or a nurse. And so she became a teacher. She landed up speaking at the UN. Like, she was just this powerhouse woman who just broke down barriers. And she decided she wanted to write a memoir for her family, her friend, her grandkids and whatnot. And then I have nonfiction professionals, entrepreneurs, and they're like, how do I fit a book into my business? And that's a whole other, that's very different, but I also work with people. And that's actually my most common client, is someone who says, I want a book to fit into my life in a way that it suits me, the way that it works for me and for my ideal readers. And that's probably the people I work with the most.
Yeah. Okay. So leading that question intrigues me. How does writing a book fit into your business? How can it?
Such a great question. So, and I want to just expand on the idea of book for a moment, right? So a book is, let's say, 50,000 words. A booklet could be 20 pages, right? Whereas a book could be 50,000, 300 pages. So I want to just put it out there that if you're thinking of writing a book, you don't have to write a tome. It doesn't have to be, this huge, long book. In fact, you could start out by writing a very short book, a 20-page book that you use as a lead magnet. And then you can see how it goes. Or you could write a book and then break it down into blog posts and put that out and see how that goes. And if that goes well, you could expand it out into a longer, bigger book. So I just want to throw that out there first, because a lot of people have this, what is a book? Well, it's something I take to a traditional publisher and they publish it for me, and it's this long and it's this big and it's 6 inches by 9 inches or whatever, right?
Yeah.
A book is a form of content. So if I asked an entrepreneur, where does content fit into your life or your business? That's really what you're asking about the book. So it could be a short booklet as a lead magnet. It could be a book or a book and workbook that you give to clients. So let's say you're a coach and you're like, I spend a lot of time just explaining the same things over and over and giving out exercises. It's like, okay, let's write a book and workbook. And when you have a client, it's like they do the work and then you come, and the time you actually spend talking is really powerful, because you're not dealing with those little bits and pieces anymore that you don't really need to deal with one-on-one live. Or it could be that you have this. I had another client. She was a counselor and then she got cancer. She went through that, had a bone marrow transplant, and then she wanted to get back to counseling, but she wanted to write a memoir, because she said, from a counselor's perspective, how do you go through cancer with the right mind, with the right, just how you speak to yourself? And she wrote a book, and then she's developing out a group and courses for people who are dealing with cancer. And so she's taken that life experience and she's integrated it into her life and work. So, I could go on there. We could spend the entire hour talking about possibilities. There are so many.
Yeah. I have a quick question here. What are your thoughts on people taking their blog posts and put it in formatting it into a book?
Okay. So if all you're going to do is grab 10 random blog posts and throw them in a book, I wouldn't do it. That's not a good idea. If you have a blog and you have, for example, a section on a very specific subject, and somewhere in there you actually have a number of steps that gets somebody to somebody, or a number of themes, and each theme could be expanded out into a chapter, then we can talk. But you can't just grab, and I've had clients come to me and say, I want to make a little ebook as a lead magnet, and I just want to grab 10 blog posts. Can you help me pick them? And I said, no. Right? No, thank you. I don't want to work with you. So if you want to look at what you have and say, like, how does some of this content interact with each other? How does it go together? And how can we take what we already have and build on it and expand on it? Maybe just as a little 20-page booklet first, but then to build out and actually write a longer, larger book later. That's a brilliant idea.
I love that idea. I really love this because everyone has a certain stereotype of what like being an author means and the whole process that comes along with it, like seeming like this really big and daunting thing, and like all these things with the publishers and how can I publish the book and everything. Like there's a lot of stuff involved. But I love that you're saying this because it really just breaks it down and just simplifies and makes it easy. And kind of, I guess what people can do is really start to see what types of content, because we have like our audience is filled with content creators and entrepreneurs, right? So they can start to see what types of or what pieces of content that they already have that either have done really well, have really resonated with people, or that they feel most passionate about, and can sort of hash out those points into a book that doesn't even have to be very long.
Exactly. And that book doesn't have to turn into a product. We all think a book is a product. It's a product. And it can be. A book can absolutely be a product, but it can also be another form of content. Just like a YouTube video isn't a full feature film, right? You know, my YouTube videos aren't full featured films, whereas my book doesn't have to be a full book. And so I start thinking about content in that way, and in a book in that way, right? It is content, and how does content fit into my world, into my life, into my business?
And there's many different functions of content too, just like as with a book, like one blog post, one video can have the purpose of establishing credibility. It could have a purpose of selling something. It could have a purpose for just like informing. So yeah, I really like that you said that. It's not just a product. It's a tool. A book is a tool.
Yeah. And can I just say that Amazon is one of the biggest search engines out there? And so if I'll give a little bit of a tip. If you have a book, a good book, right? You don't want to put not good product out there, but if you have a good book and in the front of the book, you tell people how to get a hold of you, how to take that next step, and you put that up on Amazon, some people will come and buy the book. Some people will go through, how you can look on Amazon, like look at the book. Some people will look through the book. They'll see how they can get a hold of you without buying the book, and they'll go straight to there. But you have to do it well, right? You have to do that well. But there's so many opportunities for how this can serve you. You just said book is selling tool, right? Just saying, it's, Amazon's a search engine.
Yeah, that was a good one. I like that one.
Very cool thing to consider. Yeah, I have some more questions just out of that, but we'll go to the audience first and answer some questions.
Let's hit up the chat here.
Yes.
Digging in deep with Dawn. How does one learn how to write their life story?
That is such a great question. We could spend a whole course just on this. So I'm gonna give you this, Dawn. So start by, if you want to write your entire life story, great. Start at 0 and put this, say the year you were born on one side of a piece of paper, and this year on the other side of the piece of paper. Big sheets of paper on the wall are really helpful. And then you can go through and just start by going, this is, 1984, 1985, 1986. And, what school was I at? What house did I live in? Who was my best friend? And just start, university. Or if you want to take a section of your life, you just want to talk about university, for example, because something monumental happened and that's where your memoir lives. That's the theme you want to deal with. Put the start of university on one side, the other, and then just start jotting in everything you remember. And you'll be surprised as you're thinking about it, more stuff will come up and more stuff will come up and more stuff will come up. And then when you run out of ideas, go find out what your favorite song was, listen to that, go look at old photographs, go read old newspapers from that particular time, and let that jog your memory, and just do a timeline of your life. And I'll leave you there because we could go on and on, but that's just a starter for you, Dawn. I hope that helps.
It sounds like it's a crazy going down memory lane. And I can see people getting lost going down there, but that's pretty cool. All right, another one here. Timothy, hi Melody. Can someone purchase a gift voucher to one of your writing workshops?
Yeah, well, get in touch with me. And if you want to gift some of my time or one of my workshops or the membership to somebody, just get in touch with me. I'm sure Arit and Jewel can put my email or how to get in touch with me somewhere. And yeah, I can sort that out for you.
Yeah, okay. Timothy, Melody, I think there's two links in the description below. So one of them is a link to Melody's joining Author Nation, becoming a member of Author Nation, which basically is, I believe it's a $7 monthly subscription, Melody.
Right. For the membership that I have out right now, it's $7. Yep.
Yeah, and then you get, access to all of the resources, including all of the events within that. And then the second link in the description there is just to the events page where you can just purchase, just access to one event. So yeah, both of those links are there.
Should I put the first link or the second link in the chat?
Put the first one there. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and Jewel is putting the link in the chat, Timothy, so you have access to that.
And Timothy can pay for someone else to join too. That also works. So we can work it out. Timothy can let me know exactly what he wants, and I'll work it out for him.
That's very nice of you, Timothy. Gifting Melody. All right, so we have another question here. So Noelle says, thanks for the ebook. What do you recommend after you write and publish your book on Amazon?
Noelle, you're welcome for the ebook. I hope it was helpful. I'm going to check in with you later to see how that went. What do you recommend after you write and publish? Oh, that's such a big question. I mean, it really starts with your goal. Why did you write a book? Why is it up on Amazon? How is this going to fit into your life and your goals, right? So if you want to talk this through, we can always just set up like a one-off session for you just to dig into that, so to get you some clarity. I do one-off sessions with people where all they really want is just some clarity on how to move forward. I'm happy to do that. But it's such a big question, Noelle. I don't know enough about what you do and what your goals are to answer it. I'm sorry.
All right, and Dawn was loving your
the tips there on writing life story.
Dawn.
How to write your life story.
Thank you, Dawn.
All right, and then Timothy says, I was thinking that would be an amazing resource for some of my writer friends. Absolutely. So Melody, tell us more about, so I think I want to go back to what we were saying about writing a book being a tool, many different functions and uses of this tool. Can you share with us some of those benefits or some of those purpose or reasons why your clients have written a book? What has it done for them? How have they benefited out of that?
All right. So I had a client who had written a book and he wasn't getting a lot of sales. And he was like, can you just look at it? And I looked at it and I said, well, I think you're writing it to the wrong market. I think you should write it to the university market. And you need to, because I think university students would be really interested in this, but it's heavy and university students read textbooks. And so you have to make it light and more interesting and fun for them. And so we wrote a second book. And so instead of getting rid of the first book, he just started publishing a series, right? XYZ for university students, XYZ for, and so that is something that people come to me for. It's how do I take this content and repurpose it for other people, other audiences? That's one. I had a doctor come to me. She had a medical clinic and she was, that was very specific, a very, very specific type of medical issue. And she wanted to write a book. She did not want to self-publish. She wanted a traditional publisher. She was not interested in selling books or making money off of books. It was not a product to her. She wanted a much wider reach and she wanted to go on a speaking tour. Not that she needed to be paid for it. She wanted everyone in North America to know who she was and what she did. Mm-hmm. And so we wrote a proposal for a traditional publisher. We got her a deal. I helped her get the book to the point that the publisher wanted it, and then they ran with it. I just stepped back and said, there you go. And the publisher wants to sell the book as a product. She was happy with them to do that. She got a small amount of royalties, but they got her on a speaking tour. They got her out there. They got her writing articles to promote the book, but then that also promoted her medical clinic. So they're just, there's so many ways you can use a book to help your life goals or your business goals.
And what is the difference between going with a publisher versus publishing yourself?
Yeah. So a lot of differences. One, the publisher will take, once you get your manuscript to the publisher, it probably takes at least a year to get out into the public world, if not more. They have because they're the ones investing the money, they're taking the risk. They are the ones making the money as well. So your royalties are much, much lower. You may get an advance, and people are like, I'm getting an advance. And I'm like, yeah, but that's an advance on royalties. So you won't make any royalties until that advance is actually paid back to the publisher. So you're not actually making money, you're just making money up front. You also have less control. So the publisher, their marketing team will tell you what the cover should look like to sell, what it should say on the back to sell. Sometimes what the content, sometimes you send a proposal to a publishing house and they're like, no, we don't like that content. But if you change it like this and that, we'll take you. And you have to say yes, because they are putting in the risk. They're putting in the money and it's on them. So you are now kind of, you lose quite a bit of control over that. And they want mass. There are some niche publishing houses that only deal with, knitting books or like really, really niche things. But most of the big publishing houses, they want mass market. They want J.K. Rowling. They want, Stephen King. They want big books, big books that are going to sell lots and lots, because that's the only way they make their money. When you self-publish, you're taking all the risks. So you have to invest in the editor and the book designer and the whole team. You have to do the PR, you have to do the writing, you have to do everything. You can move as fast or as slow as you want to move. You make all the royalties because you've taken all the risk. You decide what goes on the cover, and if nobody buys it because it's not a great cover, that's on you. Right. And that's, and that can be a good thing or a bad thing. I know one of the things I have to say, if you're going to self-publish a book, please get a good cover, put money in the cover. It's
like your YouTube thumbnail.
It's like a thumbnail.
It's like a YouTube thumbnail.
Oh, yes. So I don't do my own thumbnails. So all of my branding on my YouTube channel is a reach, right? I know that I can't do thumbnails and I can't do, this is not my thing. And so, and if I don't, if I don't look a certain way, if I don't brand well, then people are going to be less likely to stick around and subscribe. The same thing with books. Exact same thing with books.
Yeah.
Amazing. All right.
We have another question here.
Teddy B, how about telling your story through video? So
yes,
I believe, what are your thoughts on that? And I'm thinking you for sure need to be writing some sort of, not exact word for word script, but you do need some written material to make that video happen.
Yes. So there's an example, and he didn't write his story or a memoir, but he wrote a book. There's a guy, who he is. I'll tell you in a minute. But he started doing YouTube videos. I think it was 2006, and he has quite a personality. And he did video after video after video. Like, he really put videos out there. 3 years later, in 2009, he wrote a book. Does anyone know? And then this year, or was it last year? He wrote another book, and he tied it. He made, I think he's made more money than anyone else in the first 24 hours. Does anyone know who that is?
I don't.
Gary Vaynerchuk?
Yes.
Oh,
Yes.
Got it.
So Gary V started doing videos, just video. 3 years later, he published his first book. He has gone on to publish 9 of them, but he does video first. He's a great example of somebody who does video first and then takes whatever he's been yelling at people.
Yeah.
Not personal, but gets very excited, right?
Yeah.
And he puts them in books. So Teddy B, start with through video. Absolutely.
And what's interesting about Gary Vee is, yes, he started off with the videos and stuff, and he made his main things are video and written material, like books and stuff. He doesn't have courses or products really. He does have his shoe line, but that came way, way later. It was just video and books.
Yeah. He's an example of somebody who writes books as a product, which is unusual, right? You have to have a following to make money writing a book as a product, right? Yeah. But he's a good example.
I was going to say, Melody, do you have any tips for writing a video script for someone to tell their story in a video?
So I would, if I were advising someone, I would get them to step back and I would just look at the whole a little bit before you start diving into the individual videos. So if you think about it as like memoirs are about a theme, right? And so do you want to just go on and vlog? Because you can vlog and there's nothing wrong with vlogging. But if you actually want to tell a story, you kind of want to map it out just a little bit so that when you do write the script for each video in the series that tells the story, you kind of know where you're going. If not, you're vlogging, aren't you?
Yeah. I mean, so what is the difference between just creating one video telling your story versus creating a series of videos?
So if you're creating one video to tell your story, I'm assuming you're not going to talk for an hour, right? Like this is a kind of a short. So really you're taking a very small piece of your life. You're taking a monumental moment in your life and you're talking about that in the video. And it relates to something else for other people, I'm assuming, right? If you're doing a series of videos, then you are weaving a story over time, which I think is, a beautiful thing to do. But if you want to do that, map it out just a little bit before you start. So you know kind of where the highs and lows are. You'll know exactly where, chapters in books. If you're writing a book about your life, for example, the beginning of the chapter needs to grab people. The ending of the chapter needs to kind of end on a question or, like a cliffhanger. And so same if you're going to do a series of videos about your life, you want to have that same flow, which means some planning.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it also comes down to what is the goal as well? Why do you want to tell your story? Like, is it something that you're going to use again as a tool to just continue engaging people, your audience, to just stick with you along the journey for the series? Maybe it's a little bit of an accountability piece for you as well. Or, if you're just doing the one video telling your story, maybe it's just something you're going to have up on your website or as a trailer or something, for people to right away get a feel for who you are. But those are great tips. Yeah. Thank you.
I always start with why. Always start with why.
Yeah. Simon Sinek.
Yes.
Great book. Another great book. So Don is asking, can you write about a fictitious character based on my life, but is really me? Interesting.
Yes.
Idea.
Absolutely. Don't call it a memoir. Absolutely don't call it a memoir. I always say I have a memoir, but it's actually not a memoir. And I'm going to call it auto fiction. So auto fiction is taking auto being self, fiction being not true, right? So taking something about myself, a story about myself, and fictionalizing it. And it's very, very popular, and it's done for some very good reasons. Protecting yourself, protecting other people, to make it more entertaining. There are lots of reasons to write a fictitious book about your life. I actually think most fiction writers in some way are writing about themselves, even if they're writing about some, third moon to the fifth sun world. They're actually really writing about themselves, right? So,
great point.
You'll be doing what every writer does if you do that.
Is there a difference between memoirs and autobiographies?
Yes, absolutely. An autobiography starts at the beginning of a person's life and really does the whole thing, right? Like it really encompasses all the major points in a person's life. Memoir is based on theme. It's usually about a section of a person's life, and it's often based on a theme, like adoption or healing from trauma or falling in love or whatever it happens to be.
Yeah,
that's actually that's a video idea that you could potentially do, Melody.
Yeah.
Which is
explaining what the difference is between an autobiography and a memoir.
I have one.
Do you have that one? You have that?
I was gonna say I bet she has. Melody is creating videos on all different questions.
I have one. I'll drop the link if you want to see it.
Yeah, I will watch it. That's pretty cool.
So Noelle says, I self-publish a book mainly to build authority and as a marketing tool for new business clients. It's been effective on a small scale. I feel that it's completely underutilized. So what would you say, to someone who has this piece of content and wants to do more with it?
Yeah. I haven't seen the book, but I'm going to say get creative. How can this fit into your life and into your business to help you? I don't know the content of the book. I see that you're an accountant, but I don't know the content. So is it something that you would gift to new clients? when they sign up? Is it something that you'd give to a new client to sign up when they sign up and give them 2 and get them to give 1 to a friend? Is it like, depending on the content, right? It depends what you want to do. Is it something you want to kind of redo as an ebook and put it up on Amazon and use it as a search engine? Is it something you want to use as a lead magnet to get emails? Is it, there's so many ideas. I think you should sit down and get really creative about what you could do with it and think about what's inside. Who is the ideal reader for this book? Is it a client, a potential client, another accountant, somebody's parent? Is it for millennials and you want to give it to their parents? Like, really figure out who the ideal reader is and how you can get to them. Oh, so it's for business.
Modernizing your accounting system.
Oh, that's excellent. So if it's for business, if they read the book, will they just go, oh, it's too difficult, we just need to hire Noelle? Is that probably what they'll do? Like,
That's true. Like I just know that Noelle has it on the marketplace on Amazon, and he promotes it. Like, he has call to action to buy the book on his site. But other than that, Noelle, let us know. Is it a tool to gain more clients for your business?
And also, just a quick one. Do you actually help your clients get the book on Amazon, or is that part of the?
I can help them. Yes, I will help. When I say I'll help them, it doesn't mean I'll actually do the work, but I vet people for them. So if you need somebody to get your books on Amazon, somebody can help you with that. And I can make sure you get the right person. If you need book covers, I can make sure you find the right person, either someone on my team, or if my team doesn't do it, then, because I actually, for a client the other day, I just had to go outside of my team or the people I usually work with, because of the genre of the book. I decided we needed someone special to do the book cover. And that's just what I do. Yeah. So I will. And I just want, Noelle, you have the book on Amazon. So my next question is, when people look in the book, that front, it's called front matter, right? The stuff before you get to the book. Is there a way for them to get a hold of you or talk to you or sign up for something, even if they don't buy the book? And if there isn't, I suggest you get that in the ebook or get it in there somehow.
That is a great tip. I keep thinking about that, and I was like, oh, that's so good. And I know that there's a lot of people that don't do that.
Yes.
Yeah. It's a modern approach to accounting for entrepreneurs. It was for new clients initially. Oh, okay. Yeah. So building rapport, building credibility, kind of thing.
Yes. Yep. And also, just for Noelle, it could be that when they work with you, you give them the book so that after you leave, they kind of remember what they're supposed to do, right? You can also write a book that way. It's like, this is complicated. So we'll just, we'll figure out how to, it's like a manual. I don't want to use the word manual though, but you know what I mean? It's kind of like an after sales manual on how to keep the system up. It could be that too, depending what's in the book.
Totally. Yeah. It's a form of leverage, but it's very similar to a YouTube video. Like we talk to our clients about this all the time. Like, you can create a YouTube video just to gain some more time freedom for yourself. Use it as leverage on the things that you have to explain over and over again to potential customers or existing clients. I love that.
All right. So now I'll get in touch with you, Melody.
Oh, thank you, Noelle. It's all content to read, right? It's all content.
Yeah. No, I love that shift in perspective of a book being like a piece of social media content and not have like this big, daunting, overwhelming project in front of you.
Mm-hmm. And that reminds me, and just to give you another kind of perspective or way to think about things, when I work with my clients and we talk about content, I always talk about Lego, because you get Lego and you spill it onto the floor and it's just all these pieces of something. We don't know what it is. You get to make anything you want out of it, right? You can build cars and castles or anything you want. And then, content is the same thing. You've got this idea and this little bit of information. You've got this and this and this, and you can build that into a blog post, a YouTube video, an entire book. When you have the entire book, you can pull it out. You can start pulling pieces out and throwing that on social media, right? So think about content like Lego. You take the pieces, you build it up, but you can also pull Lego apart. And so content can be big pieces, small pieces. They can go on social media, they can go in a book. And that's how I help clients with content in general. That's how I think about content.
Interesting. I like that.
So you could take a chapter, like you could take the first chapter or first 3 chapters and use that as a lead magnet, for example.
Yes, absolutely. In fact, Joel could put the first chapter on his website, let them read it and say, if you'd like more, buy it. Or if you'd like to work with me, call me, right? Do that as well.
Nice.
Oh, great idea. Awesome.
Dropping the knowledge bombs, Melody.
Look what it's doing for us. Like, check this out.
Shout out to Dawn. Thank you so much for the super chat. Yeah, super chat. And thank you so much to Timothy for the super sticker. Appreciate it. And we missed a question here from Brenda.
So Brenda says, thanks for the example of Gary Vee. I have a teaching memoir on my YouTube channel, but I don't want to write and sell courses. I like building an audience and doing consults and writing another book.
Yes.
Cool. That's amazing. Yeah, and her YouTube channel just hit 200 subscribers. So that's really awesome. Congrats, Brenda. And you are doing it. You definitely are doing it. You're creating your videos. And I mean, in 2022, with the momentum that you're getting right now, I'm very excited for your channel.
I think it really comes down to like what type of content you resonate with creating most, right? We don't all have to create YouTube videos. We don't all have to create a course or, write and sell a course. Like it could be a book. Like that's the idea, is that all of these are different types of content that you can use towards whatever goal you're working towards.
Yeah. And well done, Brenda. I mean, look at Gary Vee's model, right? One thing you have to, when you're looking at him, he puts out a lot of content, right? So look at his model. Look at other people who are doing something similar to what you're doing. They don't have courses, but they have lots of videos and they have consulting time and they write books. Look at their business model and say, how can I be like that? How can I build that? I think that's a great plan.
We've taken a lot from Gary Vee as well. I remember watching him, and he was mainly big in the entrepreneurial realm. Now he's like big everywhere. Yeah. And I remember reading one of his first books, and in his book, he said, tweet me that you're on this page reading this book. And I actually was in a chapters Indigo, and I tweeted him, and like a couple minutes later, he tweeted me back, and I freaked out. He probably can't do that now because he's really popular, but I thought like that really stuck with me, and I thought that was so cool that he responded right away. And he is he's very big on it's him responding. He makes it very clear that it's not other people. If you DM him and stuff, it's actually him. So
he probably has he hired one person to just reply to those tweets.
No, he said it was real.
I'm like, no, I mean like now.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So Brenda says, it's great to hear what you do, Melody, as you do what I don't want to do for writers. So I know who to refer future clients to when they're ready to publish. Amazing.
Thanks, Brenda. That's lovely. Just remember, they have to know why they did it in the first place.
Yeah.
But that's the thing. It's so hard. It's so hard to help people. It's not hard, but it's harder to help people after the fact. Like I come to people and they're like, I wish I didn't write this book. I wish I'd written another book. What can I do with it? And it's like, okay, we have to get creative, right? Now we have to be really creative about how we're going to do this. So my advice, Brenda, when you're working with people is really dig into the why. Why do you want to do this? How this is going to fit into your life? How is this going to fit into your business or whatever? And really get clear on that so that when they're done, they can go to me or anyone and they can be really clear. I wrote this book and this is the content because I want this. And they'll get much further that way.
If someone, Brenda says that this talk has really helped me clarify what I want to do. Amazing, Brenda. Yeah, Melody's a great resource. Like she has a ton of stuff on her channel as well. Huge resource for authors. If someone is at a place where they're thinking about writing a book, but they don't know where to start. Like they could just start writing, but I mean, I bet there's a lot of other things to think about. So what are some of those things? And follow-up question to that, like, how do you condense this big project into something that's manageable?
Okay, 2 questions. The first one is, how do you get started? Is that kind
Yeah.
of the first question? Okay, so I'll give you a couple of questions to help you. And I've said this already here, but I'll say it again. How will this book fit into my life, into my business? That is like number one, right?
Yeah.
And then, like, why am I writing this book? So if it's going to fit into my business as a lead magnet, I'm writing this book to solve one specific problem. So people will know that I can solve their type of problem, not to give everything away, but to solve, one thing. And then, who is your ideal reader? Those 3 questions. If you can't answer those questions, then don't even start writing a book. Those are like the top 3. And then once you kind of know exactly who you're writing to, why you're writing to them, and how it's going to fit into your life and your business, then you can say, okay, so my ideal reader, where are they before they write the book? What do they think? What do they feel? What do they do? What do they know? And who do they want to be when they're finished the book? And if it's a memoir, it might just be, they might want to have a fun ride, right? That might be it. If it's, accounting, they might want to be able to do their books without stress, right? So how do they want to feel? At ease with their accounts. And so you can kind of think about, where are they now? Where do they want to be? And then what content will get them there? What do I need to write about? What do I need to include in my book to get them from A to B? And it might be motivation, inspiration, information. There's so many types of content you could then put into your book that will help them get there.
I love that. Who do they want to be when when they put that book down? That's really great. And so what's a manageable way to get started? Like, does one just start writing? Do they make a habit out of writing week to week or daily? What does that look like?
Yeah, I think that it depends on the person. Making a habit is a really good idea. I like to break things down. I'm going to give you the 30 seconds on this. So as a gymnast, I was a gymnast. You want to do all those crazy tumbles, right? You want to round off back handspring, back tuck, back layout, full, whatever you're doing. But you don't just walk into the gym one day and do that. You can't even do a cartwheel first day, right?
Yourself,
so what you actually do is you break things down into these tiny little doable things, right? Mm-hmm. I can do a handstand. I can do that one thing. So that's what I'm going to practice. And I'm also going to learn to do a back arch, because in order to do a back handspring, my back has to have that kind of flexibility. So I'm going to learn how to do that. And in gymnastics, these are all the foundations that you learn. And then you start building on top of those foundations. So I would start with your foundations and break them down into tiny little things. Can you imagine if my gymnastics coach had said to me, okay, this is how you do a back handspring, and then for an hour explained a back handspring to me? Break it down into what can I actually do? My to-do list always starts with a verb, and it's usually a task that's under an hour. Unless I'm creating content, I'm setting aside like 3 hours. You want to break things down into really manageable, doable things. And I think that's a lesson for life, but that's how I help authors. It's like, we're working on chapter 1. Chapter 1 is going to have these headings. Each heading probably only has 3 paragraphs. That's all you're going to write right now. That's it. Don't think about anything else. Just write that. And so I hope that helps.
Oh, moving 1% forward.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, absolutely.
It's very much like Atomic Habits. Yeah. And really cool fun fact about you that you were a gymnast. How long did you do that for?
So I grew up on a farm, and so there was no gymnastics. And when I was about 11, we moved to the city, and I started late. I did compete for my high school. So I competed regionally. So I did gymnastics from about 11 to the end of high school ish.
Wow. Did you want to be an Olympic athlete?
Oh gosh, yes. Yeah, absolutely. I did gymnastics in the morning, after school, and then after dinner. For as many years as I was allowed to do it. And I got quite good considering I started late. It was an absolute passion of mine. When I love something, I'm like all in. I'm an all-in kind of person. Yeah.
That's awesome. Fun fact. Dawn says, what are some of your favorite nonfiction authors?
Probably my most favorite nonfiction author is probably Seth Godin.
Yes.
He's he's a genius. He really is. Simon Sinek, as Arit was talking about earlier. Oh, and I don't know if you guys know, this is what I'm reading. Did you guys remember? This is what I'm reading right now.
We've actually met him, and we went to. He had an intense course called the 90-day year back 5 years ago, and we were in Vegas, and we took his whole thing, and it's how that's how the batching thing happened, batch filming and all that kind of stuff.
So I also like, and I should just add to who are my favorite nonfiction authors, I also really like memoir. And memoir is nonfiction, because if you write a memoir, it has to be true. If it's not true, it's not memoir. It's autofiction, right? It's a fictionalized, based on a true story. I really love memoir as well, I must say.
That's cool.
Very cool.
I don't know how far you've gone into the alter ego, but have you chosen your piece, your object?
No, I'm only on chapter 6, The Hidden Forces of the Enemy.
Okay, please let me know what you end up, what it is that transforms you.
Okay, will do.
Cool. So JoJo's loving it. Awesome. Yeah, we're going to be having more guests on the show now, just sharing different perspectives, different things. And looks like some people here are already interested in, they already have a book or thinking about writing a book. You know? We often hear people say like, oh, I've been thinking about writing a book, and it's like always been inside. You know? It's like a thing they think about.
Yeah. Hey, for your authors do know that I have a live interview show where I interview nonfiction authors, right? I know Brenda knows because I emailed her the other day to come on the show. So if you're a nonfiction author, get in touch.
Noelle, I'm calling you out. Noelle, anyone else in the community here? Yeah, we have, I know we have some nonfiction authors in the community. So yeah, absolutely get in touch with Melody. She's such a great resource to have. Can also put you on her show and use that leverage as well. Because Noelle, you also have a YouTube channel. Come on, perfect. So thank you so much, Melody, for all of your insights. Super valuable, guys. Please do check out her links in the description below. Everything to do with planning, thinking about, promoting, publishing a book. It's all there for you. So please do check that out and get in touch with her.
Thank you so much for having me. This was so much fun. I hope I didn't download too much.
No, it's the perfect amount of each topic, because I know each of these things could be full courses on their own.
Yeah. Yes.
Any last minute words for
please come back. Yes, Dawn, you got a show. Invite me on that one. We'll do it again.
Any last minute words that you would give to aspiring authors out there? What would be, if you had one piece of advice? What is your go-to?
Yeah, if I had one piece of advice, write in community. People think that writers are in the basement or the attic or whatnot, but the truth is, if you join a writing group, if you write with others, and if you because until you have something on the page, nobody can help you. And so really, build a community of people around you who are going to support you through the process and help you make good decisions as you go through. And
I would highly recommend that the write-in with Melody. Arit attended it. I actually did not attend it. I heard about it, and Arit was raving about it.
I'm going to be there again on Monday. So yeah, guys, I'm not an author, but that write-in, just writing in community, like what Melody is talking about, just being there in the same space for 90 minutes with other people writing, is just the amount of focus, and we're all doing this together. It's like we're sitting in the same room at the same table, just writing, right? And then I love that opportunity as well, to the last 30 minutes of the write-in, to get to know what other people are working on. And it's also a great form of accountability. So if you're writing anything, it doesn't have to be a book, like Melody says, even a piece of marketing content. I was writing a video script. I'll probably be writing this following week some ideas for YouTube videos. So please do join that. She has it. It's every Monday, right, Melody?
Well, it won't be every Monday, always. I do on occasion take holidays, but
How could you?
every Monday I can be there. And there is somebody who said that she'll show up when I'm not there. So we're hoping to run it. I'd love to run it every Monday. If I can, I will.
Amazing.
Nice.
Great.
Sounds good. Thank you so much, Melody. You've provided amazing value. I always love your energy, love working with you. And for sure, we will have you back on the show.
Yes.
Thank you.
All right. Thanks, everybody, for watching. Tune in next week at 6 p.m. PST for the Essetino Weekly Mastermind. And have a good night.
Yes. We'll see you then. Bye, everyone.